we're going to replace the tire on the NanRobot D4 2.0. I'm also going to be installing flat protection. Is this Mr. Tuffy fat tire flat protection that you lined around the wheel. And we'll put this in to help protect against goat heads. They're like little seeds with really sharp pricks on them. So another name for them is the puncture vine. And these puncture vine actually pierce through outer tire and right through to the tube. We're also going to be replacing it with some cheaper tubes. This is what I bought from Amazon. They come in a pair. The difference is that this stem is 45 degrees from the top. So if you look like this way, you'll see it's only a 45-degree bend. The stock tube, however, has a 90-degree bend. So to get to the tire, what we're going to do is we're going to remove these two suspension systems here. We're going to remove the axle nut first, and then we'll take the two chrome nuts up here off. Now, for this side, we're not going to do anything. We're actually going to leave this side alone.
Wrench and a 21mm socket. I'm going to get this axle nut off.
Yep, good. Now, once that axle nut comes off, there is a washer in here. It's a key washer. See there? It's keyed.
Using now 19mm.
Okay, go to the next one. Good. What he's doing is he's holding onto that washer so that it doesn't turn, and we're just going to slowly remove it until it's completely off the thread. Once it's out, you see here, this is the long bolt I was talking about. Go ahead. Hang on. Okay, now it's free. There it is. And the bolt will just drop. You can see here it's not really moving because this spring is actually compressed. So it's being compressed a little bit. So what you want to do is you want to grab the top, because these are loose, they can spring out. You want to make sure that those washers don't spring up into your face. And there it is, it's out. 6 bolts in here. Just take them all out. Okay, once it's removed, again, make sure the air is completely, there's no air in the tube. This should pop right off. You see here, see that? So there's no need to remove anything on this side. And now you have access to the tube. We'll take this out. What we want to do is now we'll have to locate where the thorn is that went into the tire. And the way you do that is, what I did is I marked the tire where the stem is, take it out, put this in the sink, and then put some air in it, press it until where the bubble, locate where the bubble is, map it back to the tire, and pull out that thorn. This measure is basically around the tube. Just give it some approximate. We'll cut about an inch in. Okay, just basically stuff it in. Okay, push it in as far as we can. It's a little wrinkle around here, it's okay. Because the tube's a little, I mean this tire's a little bit small for this. But I tested it. Should be good. So far, looks good. Now we just put the tube back in. Seat it in. It's on. That's where the valve stem would seat. You're going to align that valve stem with that little slot. Alright. As you can see here, it's a little bit tight. With the 90 degree, this stem actually sits in the middle. So filling the air is going to be a little difficult, but
install the 6 metric screws. These are 4mm metric screws.
Okay, once it's threaded in, there's no torque spec with these. So what we're going to do is just tighten it snug. It's threaded onto aluminum. I wouldn't put it in too tight. The motor housing. We'll do crosswise. Alright, next. Here's what the assembly looks like up close. Again, there's this long bolt. It's got an O-ring on the bottom here. Inserts through here. And then there is kind of like a suspension bushing that goes in here. Then you have your spring. And then you have this rubber, looks like a rubber washer that's inserted into this steel chrome threaded washer. So, and then we'll push it under here. The springs isn't that very strong. Okay. There. Once it's in, then we just put the bolts in on the bottom. Let me just get this threaded. Use the 10mm Allen to tighten it, to screw it in. It comes up about 8mm. So you bring this up about 8mm. We'll make sure both of them are the same height. Put on this nut. Okay. We'll put it in there. Okay. It's in. Place the key up. Hand thread the nut. And this is a 21mm nut. Again, I don't have the torque spec, so we're just going to tighten it snug. So here's the problem. You can see the stem is stuck right onto the motor outer housing. So you would have to pull it down to try to fill it with air with the nozzle, the air nozzle. Bend it out. See how it's kind of bended out now? Put this in here. The instruction does say to put a little bit of air and then ride it first. So we'll put 25 psi, ride it around a little bit so that protection insert seats in, and then fill it up with 40 to 50 psi again, 45 psi. This is the valve extender that I bought. I'll provide the link below. This is just to assist with that non-factory tube with the cheaper tube that's purchased through Amazon. I recommend getting these tube extenders to fill the air. With the extender, you just screw it right on. See that? And then you fill the air. Once it's filled, you take out the extender. You don't leave it in there.